All right, guys, so here we go. Let's pray that the volume works this time and I don't have to record it 3 times over. All right, so I have sped this up just a little bit, just for the sake of time. I think you guys know when I tell you, the time frame on things that it's accurate. I just didn't want to make really super long videos. Plus, the Prince and I were having a conversation through this, so I decided to go ahead and do voiceover. So we are having the roasted pork with the figgy jam. It has roasted potatoes and green beans. So I'm cutting up the potatoes, and while I made fun of them on how small their little potatoes were. It is deceiving. It ended up being a fair amount of potatoes. He's asking me what we were doing, and I was like, no, we're having this. Just so that he knew, and of course he's munching while we're doing it. In any event, I think we're having a discussion about HelloFresh versus Dinnerly. This is kind of what we do. So yeah, let's bring that camera down so you can actually see what I'm doing. We're just chopping up the potatoes, pretty much how that goes. Left the skins on, dicing them up. We're gonna roast these in the oven at 450 degrees. We're going to put them on a pan, put in a little bit of olive oil. We'll chop up the rosemary, put that on there, along with a little bit of salt and pepper. And of course, let me just tell you, you guys are going to hear it later on. It was a really hectic day. It was rough. It was just all over the place, so I'm totally not in the mood, which is another reason I'm doing the voiceover, because I was kind of in a pissy mood at this point in time. I just wanted to get dinner done. And it was quick, it really was. Even the Prince had said when I actually handed him his plate, he was like, oh my God, I didn't realize, that was fast. So it must have been a little quicker than I normally do, because he normally doesn't comment on how quickly things get done. So that was the rosemary, salt and pepper. Smush it around a little bit. That is an actual culinary term, smushing. Smush it around a little bit and go pop that in the oven. I'm actually having a conversation on the phone. Okay, you see the little puppy that just showed up. No, that is not a new member of my family. I'm actually having a conversation on the phone with her daddy. I actually picked that sweet little baby up from the shelter for them. They were out of country, so I'm waiting on them to get back. I pulled the green beans out here expecting to have to trim the ends and do all those types of things, and I was very pleased to see I didn't actually need to touch those green beans at all, so I just moved them out of my way. Like, they were in really good shape and nothing needed to be trimmed. I will say this, their green beans are a better quality than what I get from Dinnerly. They were fatter, they were in better condition, and they didn't have all the twigs and stems. So now we're getting the pork out, and pretty much I just need to salt and pepper both sides of those. I had a little rosemary, but the rosemary does not go on the pork. It actually goes in the sauce. So I put that back. I'm heating up the pans in the background. We're going to roast the green beans. And while the card shows this, roasting on separate pans, no, I don't want to clean up any more dishes than I have to. So I'll show you, but we ended up getting everything and finishing it on the same pan. So, it's a timing thing. You just got to learn how to do timing, but you can actually get all that stuff done on one tray, which was great because then there was a whole lot less cleanup. So I think I had a frying pan, my cast iron pan, because that's the best there is for browning meat, and the cookie sheet, and that's all we use. You see me going through the paperwork. Again, I'm talking to him on the phone, and I'm telling him all the stuff that was done. So this is another reason I wanted to speed it up, because I had a lot of other things going on, and it took me a little bit longer, I felt, than it normally does doing my prep, but apparently it didn't. So as soon as I get done yapping, we'll there we go. See, I paused it because I just felt like I was wasting too much time. So all I did was go put the pork in the pan. That's all I did. Pan was hot. I put the pork in it. We got to sear it on all sides. That is a shallot. So we are doing a fine chop on the shallot. And you see where my finger is? Yeah, see, I pulled it back yet. Don't put your finger out straight on your knife like that. That's a no-no. I did it a couple of times. I apologize. If a chef caught me, they would, put a red line down my finger. Yeah, don't Hold your hand the way I'm holding it now. Don't put your finger on the top of the knife. That's bad form, people. Don't do it. It's proper etiquette. The prince is back here trying to whisper so that you can't hear him. It's proper etiquette. All right, so we're stripping the rosemary off the twig. That is how you do it. In case you don't know, you don't chop up the whole thing. You pull the leaves off of that twig because that twig is gross and woody, and you don't want that in your food. And we're doing just a fine chop for that. The shallots and the rosemary are actually for the sauce. Oh, no, that has nothing to do with it. Thank you. He's back here behind me showing me with a fork and knife how to use a knife. I'm going to stick him in the kitchen one of these days, and I'm going to get to see if he can do one of these cards. I don't think he can. I don't think he's capable. He said he would starve if he had to cook for himself, which is not true. He does know actually how to cook for himself, but why when he has the princess to do it for him? All right, so this is 1/4 of a cup of water. That is the chicken concentrate. And then we are putting in the figgy jam, people. Yes, that's what it was called, figgy jam. We'll smush all, again, smush all of that into the thing. Jack, get away. Lord, Jack is awful. He's the worst ever. A little bit of vinegar. Jack. See, I'm yelling at him now. Jack, get out of there. Ugh. For anyone that may bother, I don't care that my cats are on my counter when I'm feeding myself. I don't allow it if I'm doing something else. But for me, I don't care. All right, so we're just searing off the pork is what we're doing. We're not trying to cook it all the way through. We're just searing it. Making it all brown and yummy because, you know, brown food tastes good. We're stirring up all the stuff that was in there, the water and the chicken concentrate and the figgy jam and the vinegar. We're just stirring all that up. I'm getting ready to make a pretty good boo-boo here in just a second. Y'all will see, but no worries because we fix it. All right, so these are the taters that are in there, just the taters. I'm just rolling them around, moving them out, making sure that, you know, one side doesn't get browner than the other. Stick it back in. Now I'm pushing the potatoes over to the side and going, nope, we're just going to do this all in one pan. Now, I just took the green beans and stuck them in the middle. Where we're kind of at that point with the potatoes, they were done enough that given another 10 minutes, everything would be done at the same time. I put a little bit of olive oil over. Now, see, there's the boo-boo right there. That's the big fat boo-boo. You see, I just dumped the liquid in the pan. Yeah, because you remember we had the shallots and the rosemary and all that. Yeah, I forgot about that. It was just one of those days, people. It happens. No worries, though. I totally salvaged it. You'll see in a minute. It can happen even when you screw up that badly. And I did. I screwed up pretty badly. I left 2 very large components out of that sauce. So, yeah, and I just realized that I didn't use their balsamic vinegar, that I used my vinegar. It still tasted fine. It was still good. I was in such a bad mood cooking. I really was not in the mood. It was just one of those days. It was frustrating all day, and it was frustrating the second I got home, and so I just was in a bad mood. I apologize. Yeah. All right, so I'm actually putting the butter in there. This is how you finish the sauce. But the sauce was not even close to being finished. I'm so ashamed of myself. I think I paused while I was waiting for the other 10 minutes in the oven because obviously we didn't want this to run for 10 minutes of you just looking at the stove because that's just stupid. Nobody wants to watch that. And everything else was in the oven. So we're going to pause. There you go. All right. See, this is where I realized, oops, I've totally screwed up. So what I did was I put a little bit of olive oil in a very small pan. I put my shallots in there and I'm sweating them down because this is what I was supposed to have done the first time around in the other pan with all the brown bits, but I still got all the brown bits. So it was fine. So now I'm going to add the rosemary. And I'm cussing myself the entire time, making such a rookie mistake. Read your card, read your card. Poppy's trying to figure out what's going on and why I haven't dropped anything yet. All right. We're sweating that down a little bit. Starting to look good. You don't want raw shallots in your sauce. So the rosemary knot was already put in there. So now I'm just putting the sauce in the pan, and we're going to finish it right there. And I'll be honest with you, I doubt very seriously that this came out any differently than if I had done it in the correct time. It was fine. I fixed it. I'm the fix-it sister. Rachel's the figure it out sister. So I not only did I figure it out, I also fixed it. We are getting t-shirts that are going to say figure it out and fix it. All right, so we paused again while everything finished. The sauce is done. You can see I put everything on the same pan. Nice, tidy little package. We now have 3 pans we have to wash because, I mussed up. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring 1 plate over at a time, and I'm going to cut the pork. Normally, I would let this rest for at least 10 minutes to leave all the juices in it. But again, bad day, not in the mood. We're just going to eat. So please let your pork rest 10 minutes. It will keep it nice and juicy, and all the juices won't fly out of there. So we're still going to make it pretty. And I will tell you, it is a very pretty presentation. Even though I did not give a flying you-know-what, the presentation ended up very nice. I was happy with it. All right, so now we're just going to spoon that sauce over the pork. There's 1 plate. Now we're going to do it again. The pork was pretty tender. My knife is very sharp. Kind of can't screw up pork, really, I think, unless you just cook it absolutely to death. That will screw it up, for sure. It was pretty easy cleanup, too. All right, I'm going to spoon that sauce over that. The sauce was actually really good. And we'll put the rest over the princes. All right, I think this is the place we end up pausing. Okay, stop. Hey, okay, so first meal down. We did the figgy balsamic pork. Pretty much looks like the picture, I think. There's the picture. There's my plate. I don't know if you guys were paying attention in there, but for the ones that were, and I know you were, Amanda, because you always pay attention, I don't know if you guys realized when I was doing that sauce, I had completely forgot to saute the shallots with the rosemary first before I did the rest of it. It's been a really long day. It's been very hectic for me. It was super hectic when I got home. So just to let you know, this is still pretty easy to do. And even though I muffed that up, I was able to salvage that, which you guys saw. I'm sauteing the shallots and the rosemary, and then I just added the liquid back into there. Even though I had added the butter to it, it didn't matter at all. That sauce has turned out just fine. Nothing is broken. It's fine. So, don't lose your mind when you forget a step. Just do it, and it'll work out. I promise. Looks really good. I don't expect this to not taste good. All of them do. What we're looking for, the big comparison that we're looking for is these meals generally, as a whole, are about $8.99 a meal versus Dinnerly, which is $4.99. Are they twice as good? To be twice as much. That's kind of what we're looking for. So I will do my level best to actually come back after we've done eating and let you know what the Prince and I think. I make no promises. Just because it's been a day. This is what happens when it's the day after your 50th birthday and apparently your mind decides to just shut down. So hopefully we'll be back for the end with the review. But just in case, till I see you again, you guys know the rules. Stay safe, stay clean, and have a perfect day. And hopefully we're going to add the rest later. Bye. Okay, so what'd you think? Did you like it better?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
A little bit, but
So
I can't say that wasn't because it was just a different kind of food, not because it's a different company. If you put a burger in with the same kind of burger or that and the other, then I could tell you better. It was good though.
it's not being very helpful. The dinner was good. The sauce was really good. I liked that. Comparatively speaking, I don't think the quality was any higher than it was with Dinnerly. It took about the same amount of time, but it was really good. I'm not going to complain. Is it worth $8.99 a meal versus $4.99 a meal? Not yet, but we'll see. All right, so that's actually going to be the end. I won't do my end again because this was by the way, and I'm tired. I'm getting ready to go take a bath. So, peace out.